This is actually very practical solution. For example, if you attach to smoking, I hope nobody is attached to smoking here in this room. But if you are attached to smoking, the very strong impetus is there, the very strong samskara. You want to relieve this enjoyment of smoking again and again and again. But you can weaken this by meditating how bad it is. And this development of buddhi, according to yoga, has 5 stages, which is very important. And I will tell this and finish this description. I don't have enough time, unfortunately. But that's what explained by, again, Patanjali Muni and Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva, in his commentary to Yoga Sutra 115. In this Yoga Sutra, basically, Patanjali Muni says that what is vairagya, how you develop vairagya, how you develop this detachment. And Vyasadeva says that you develop this detachment by intellectual enlightenment, by thinking again and again and again about the bad consequences of all this sense gratification, about these useless games of, of sex and everything else. You do it again and again and again, and you develop contrary mentality, and gradually detached mentality. And this detachment goes through certain stages, which are very important for our understanding. It's 5 stages of vairagya. First initial stage is called yatamana. And yatamana literally means that you have these attachments, and the attachments are very strong. And you're working on these attachments, but you cannot work on all the attachments. You know the main problem which you have, and you try to stop it, again, by developing this mentality, the contrary mentality. In yoga it is called pratipaksa bhavana. You're trying to create something contrary. Vyasadeva explains this when he explains pratipaksa bhavana. He says, for example, you get angry at something. And, this very strong wave in your consciousness is there. I want to kill this person. I will kill him. I will kill him. So immediately you have to think, when the strong impetus is there, you have to think something which is completely contrary to this. You have to think, no, I'm here to serve all the living beings. I'm for the, I don't want to kill him after all. It's not so easy to kill somebody. Or, you have to constantly meditate on the scriptures and on the on the commands of the scriptures, how it is good ultimately for you and how it is good for everyone. And this is a painful stage when you more or less forcefully withdraw your senses from the objects of the senses. The senses are very much attached to the object of the senses. They're pushing you in this direction. And this is yatamana. This is when the physical attachment is very strong in the senses. This is when the attachment is in the senses. But then what happens? If you're doing it for a certain amount of time, the next stage comes, and the next stage is called yatireka. And yatireka means that you managing yourself already nicely. You kind of know that you have some strong attachments still, some attachments are still there, and some attachments you already conquered. So you more or less manage your life in such a way that you work on a particular attachment which is a problematic still. Yatireka means discrimination. You observe yourself and you know that there is a certain problem which is there. and you consciously emphasize working on this problem. And you don't pay attention to some areas which are not that problematic. You take the problematic area and you work consciously on this particular problematic area by creating some contrary force to it. You know, by thinking about the commands of the scriptures, by meditating, by associating with devotees, you will create opposite samskara, which ultimately put asleep this strong sinful samskara which is there. And then the next stage is called ekendriya. Ekendriya means that you conquer the external attachments completely. But there is still, ekendriya means the attachment is still there in one indriya, eka indriya. What is this one indriya in which attachment is there?
Mind.
Mind, yes. So it basically means that you conquered over the external attachments, but the attachments are there in the mind. The attachment is there in the mind. You're still attached to honor and respect. You're still attached to the understanding how you are renounced and this kind of things. Basically, this is the work with the internal problems which are less gross. This is the stage where you are absorbing all these problems. You know, you already, the senses are more or less under control, but you're still hankering over the respect and honor and all this kind of more subtle sense gratification which is there. Or you don't like disrespect. This is also the stage of the kendriya. You know, you are really afraid that somebody will disrespect you or will not show proper respect, or you will be deprived of all these things. You know, you will be disgraced. You're really attached to, you know, you're afraid of being disgraced in the society and so on and so forth. And Krishna will help you. He will send you nice things. So, if you're really sincere at this stage, this is a candidate. This is how gradually the body develops. The ability to really, control the lower nature of our mind. And then the next stage is called Vashikar. Vashikar means that you're completely in control. You know what you're doing. You're totally in control. The buddhi is so strong. And you're not a slave of all these impulses. But you're still attached. You still have very slight, very faint attachment to this world. Or to some understanding of this world. And finally, there is Paravairagya, which is transcendental. And this is the stage where people have real spiritual experience. And this stage, Krishna comes, they see Krishna face to face, and so on and so forth. That's